Assalamu alaikum. Today we will start with part 7 of our lesson Algebraic Expressions Objectives. At the end of this video, students will be able to factorize polynomials. Materials: please prepare a paper, a pencil, calculator and your textbook. Factoring polynomials. Please remember remarkable identities. A squared plus 2ab plus b squared equals a plus b squared. First remarkable identity. A squared minus 2ab plus b squared equal a minus b squared. Second remarkable identity. A squared minus b squared equal a plus b times a minus b. Third remarkable identity. Factoring polynomials. After learning the rules of factoring polynomials, there are some ideas and techniques that may be useful in Factorize. Please note that negative into negative x plus 2 equals x minus 2. Since a negative sign outside the parentheses changes the sign of every term inside after removing the parentheses. 1. Negative into x minus 2 equals positive into negative x plus 2. When you change the sign outside, you change the sign of every term inside. You may have noticed that running the negative through the parentheses changed the sign on each and every term inside those parentheses. Or 2 minus x, negative x plus 2 and 2 minus x are equal. Plus x minus 2 equal negative into negative x plus 2. When we change the sign outside, we also change it inside for every term, or negative 2 minus x, negative x plus 2 and 2 minus x are also equal. Application: factorize 2x plus 1 times x minus 5 plus 5 minus x times x plus 3. Please pause the video and try it by yourself. Solution: we know that x minus 5 and 5 minus x are two opposite binomials. They have opposite signs. X here we have negative x, here we have negative 5, and here we have positive 5. How could we change the sign inside this parenthesis without changing the value of this expression? We know before that 5 minus x equals minus x plus 5, which is equal to negative into x minus 5. We changed the sign outside and we also changed the sign inside. Now we will get the sign positive will be negative, and we reverse the terms of the binomial. 5 minus x becomes x minus 5. Here we have two steps. Step 1, change the sign. Step 2, change the sign of the terms inside. Now we have a common factor, which is x minus 5. So we take x minus 5 outside and open a bracket. 2x plus 1 times x minus 5. The remaining is 2x plus 1 minus x plus 3. Now we will reduce inside brackets, so we get x minus 5 times x minus 2. 2. Negative a squared minus 2ab minus b squared. Here we have a trinomial, yes, having all its terms negative. How can we change the sign of every term of this trinomial? Just put the negative sign outside the parentheses and we change the sign of every term inside this parenthesis. It is just like taking minus as a common factor. So we have negative outside, we open parentheses. Now we change the sign of every term to get a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Now we can factorize this by using algebraic identities, remarkable identity number 1. So we get negative a plus b squared. Negative a squared plus 2ab minus b squared. The two square terms are negative. So we will do the same process as part 1. We will take a minus outside and change the sign of every term. We get a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So we have the second remarkable identity. So the answer is negative a minus b squared. Negative a squared plus b squared. Here we have a binomial. So when we take a minus common factor, we get a difference of squares, a squared minus b squared, which can be factorized using third remarkable identity. We get minus times a minus b times a plus b. Example, negative 4x squared minus 12x minus 9. Here we have a trinomial having all its terms negative. Let us take the minus as a common factor. We will get inside 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Of course, we are able to identify the square terms that are 4x squared and 9. 2x squared is a squared and 3 squared is b squared. So a is 2x and b is 3. The final answer will be negative outside times 2x plus 3 squared. Application, please factorize the following. Pause the video and try to do it by yourself. Solution. Negative x squared plus 8x minus 16. First of all, a trinomial having the square terms negative. We will take minus as a common factor. So we get x squared minus 8x plus 16. A trinomial with one negative term, so we will do it by using second remarkable identity. The square terms are x squared and 16, x squared and 16, which is 4 squared. So a is x and b is 4. The answer is negative x minus 4 squared. Here we have negative x squared plus 25, which is a binomial. When we change the sign and we put a sign negative outside, we get x squared minus 25, which is a squared minus b squared, where a is x and b is 5. So the answer by using third remarkable identity is negative x minus 5 times x plus 5. A squared equal negative a squared because 2 is even. We know from the lesson powers that if two numbers are opposite, then their squares are equal. Please look at part 3. X minus 2 squared equals 2 minus x squared. Since they are opposite numbers, the squares are equal, equals negative x plus 2 squared. Factorize 6 minus x squared plus x minus 6 times 2x plus 5. Please pause the video and try it by yourself by using the property number 3. Solution. 6 minus x squared is the opposite of x minus 6. Since 6 minus x squared is written as a perfect square, so 6 minus x squared is equal to x minus 6 squared. Without any change in sign, two opposite numbers, the squares of these two opposite numbers are equal. Now we get a common factor, which is x minus 6. We put it outside, we open the brackets. The remaining part is x minus 6 plus 2x plus 5. Now we reduce, so we get the final answer, x minus 6 times 3x minus 1. Let a, b, c, d, and k are numbers. Ka plus kb times c plus d. Here, if we look inside the first factor, we have k is a common factor. So first, take from the first factor a common factor k. So k is outside. We have a plus b, the remaining part of the first factor. We keep the second factor the same. The second factor is kept the same. Now, after doing this, we complete factoring if it is possible. Example, 2x minus 3 times 2x plus 6. Let us check factor 1. We have no common factor. Let us check factor 2. 2 is a common divisor for both 2 and 6. So 2 is a common factor. We take 2 outside the parentheses. So we get 2x minus 3 times 2 times x plus 3. Of course, we put the single monomial or the single term outside. So we get 2 times 2x minus 3 times x plus 3, which is a final answer. Application: factorize 5x minus 10 times 3x plus 9. Please pause the video and try it by yourself. Solution: inside factor 1 we have 5 and 10. 5 is a common factor of 5x minus 10, so we take 5 outside to get 5 into x minus 2. Of course, we divide 5 by 5 to get x, 10 by 5 to get 2. Inside factor 2 we have 3 and 9. 3 is the common divisor of both 3 and 9, so 3 is a common factor. So we put 3 outside and write x plus 3. Now we have two single monomials outside that are 5 and 3. We know that we have a product among all these factors, so we multiply 5 and 3 to get 15 times x minus 2 times x plus 3, which is the final answer. To think positively and to factorize properly, you have to 1. Try to find a common number or a variable if it is possible. 2. Try to run the negative sign through the parentheses and change the sign on each and every term inside those parentheses. 3. Try to use remarkable identities. 4. Take the common factor that will appear. Example: factorize 3x squared minus 12 plus 10 minus 5x times x plus 1. How should we start? First, we take 3 as a common factor from the first part, and we take 5 as a common factor from the first factor of the second part. Here we get 3 times x squared minus 4 plus 5 times 2 minus x times x plus 1. If we look at the first part, we have x squared minus 4. So we use remarkable identity a squared minus b squared. Here, a squared is x squared and b squared is 2 squared since 4 equals 2 squared. So we get 3 times x minus 2 times x plus 2 plus 5 times 2 minus x times x plus 1. Here I want to ask a question. Do you have a common factor? The answer is no, until we make the opposite of this factor. To make the opposite of this factor, we just change the sign outside. Put the negative sign outside the parentheses and change the sign on each and every term inside those parentheses. So we get the positive sign becomes negative and 2 minus x now becomes x minus 2. The common factor is now clear, so we take x minus 2 as a common factor. The remaining part is written inside the brackets. Now we reduce to get x minus 2 times negative 2x plus 1. Application: factorize 2x minus 1 times 5x plus 3 minus 4x plus 2. Please pause the video and try it by yourself. Solution: 2x minus 1 times 5x plus 3, take minus as a common factor, so the signs of 4x and 2 is now changed. Second, 4x minus 2, here we have 2 as a common factor, so we take it outside to get 2x minus 1. Now we have a common factor which is 2x minus 1, we put it outside to get inside the brackets 5x plus 3 minus 2. Now just reduce to get 2x minus 1 times 5x plus 1. Assignment: please review from the textbook the following pages. Homework: please do the following homework on your copybook. Please read the following summary carefully and write notes on your copybook. Thank you very much.